pleasure and a good Sunday, a new week. It was great seeing some of you this morning for Tefillah at Shul, and it was great to see so many of you log on to watch Gurney do bagels. I always tell Gurney and marvel, I said it's by no surprise that when it comes to Advar Torah for me, some people log in, they watch it. When it comes to making bagels or challah or babka, everyone's checking in. It's great, they enjoy it. And I actually understand them because I enjoy it too. But I wanted to touch on a thought of this week. So, yesterday was Rosh Chodesh, the month of Iyar, and we started a new month. The month of Iyar is a very special month. It's also the month that is between Passover and Shavuot. We have part of Nisan, part of Sivan, but the month of Iyar is the primary time. Some of you might know that during the time of the Omer, as we call it, when we count the Omer, we don't take haircuts, we don't make weddings, we don't listen to live music, concerts, etc., etc. And the reason is because one of the great sages that we all know about, one of the most famous Jewish sages, Rabbi Akiva, had 24,000 students. Rabbi Akiva started from nothing. He was a simple shepherd who couldn't study Torah. He didn't know how to learn. And at the age of 40, one day he was with the sheep and he saw a stone, and the stone had water that dripped on it every day as he came back. And he saw how the stone started getting an indent from the water that dropped on it. And he said to himself, you know what? If a stone, the water drops on the stone and the stone could get an indent, then my head, which is like a stone to Torah, if I drop enough water, Torah is considered like the water. So then eventually he looked back at me and he started studying, and he went away for 12 years to study, and he came back and his wife encouraged him to go again, and he gathered 24,000 disciples. Some of his most famous disciples are Rabbi Meir, and his disciple is Hillel, but Rabbi Akiva, everyone knows about Rabbi Akiva. And in fact, Rabbi Akiva said a very beautiful quote, which I quote many times. He said to his 24,000 students that all the Torah that I studied and all the Torah that you studied is all credit to my wife. It's all my wife's Torah because she supported me in learning. She had faith in me and she allowed me to leave the house for so many years to study. Well, guess what? In the times of Sfiras HaOmer, Rabbi Akiva's 24,000 students all passed away. All except 6 of his students. They had what we call a magefa, a pandemic. And all 24,000 students died. Why? What happened? Such great scholars, such great students. How did they all pass away? And the rabbis tell us, they didn't respect each other. The students did not respect one for the other, and being such righteous people and not having respect, God punished them or they all left this world. So the question is, how could it be that Rabbi Akiva, the great leader of the Jewish people, who says one of the most famous quotes, Rabbi Akiva says, love your fellow as yourself, this is a great and important message of the Torah. This Rabbi Akiva is the one who his 24,000 students couldn't respect each other? Didn't they understand Rabbi Akiva told them to love their fellow like themselves? How could it be? And the answer might be that there's a big difference between liking someone and loving someone. You love your family, you love your siblings, you love your spouse, you love your parents. It doesn't mean you like them. What's the difference between like and love? Love is a natural thing. You love someone because of their sameness. We come from the same womb. We have the same personality. We have the same looks. We have the same characteristics. I remember me and my siblings running around in diapers together. We were the same. So you love them. You love the fact that you won. Do you like them? Not necessarily. There's some people you love but you might not like. Some people you like but you might not love. And well, there's some people you don't like and you don't love. And there's some people you like and you love. I might like my business partner, but do I love him? Not necessarily. Love is something we take for granted. It comes from sameness, from uniqueness, from being similar. Liking is when, on the contrary, I don't take something for granted. I appreciate what you contribute that's different than me. And I like the fact that we're different and that we complement each other. That's the difference between love and liking. And the same as it is in the individual, it's also the same way in the community. There's Reb Yisrael and there's Klal Yisrael. There's community of Israel and there's the people of Israel. Someone once said to me, Rabbi, what's the difference between a Jew and an anti-Semite? They both hate the Jews. And ever go over to an anti-Semite and he'll tell you how the Jewish people are responsible for the fall in the markets, and they're responsible for the war in Iran, and they're responsible for the war in Iraq, and they're this and they're that. And he goes on and on. He can't stand the Jewish people. He said, tell me, if that's the case, why is your cardiologist Dr. Goldberg and your accountant is Mr. Klein and your lawyer is Mr. Goldstein? I don't understand. If you don't like the Jewish people, what about all these people? He says, well, they're really good people. But the Jewish people, that's something else. These people I like, they're different. Then you go to a Jew, you say, Klal Yisrael, I love the Jewish people. Mikam Chaki, so who's like the Jewish people? So amazing, so unique, so lovable. So tell me, what about the guy sits on your left and shoulder? He says, that guy, he's such a ganiv. Forget about it. So what about the guy to your right? He says, him. He's a shmendrik. He's a nudnik. Forget about it. What about your neighbor that lived next to you? He said, I wouldn't trust him with a dime. Even if his mother even if I was his mother, I would never trust the guy. He said, I don't understand. You love the Jewish people. He said, I love the Jewish people, but this guy's different. You see, sometimes as Jewish people, we love each other because we're one, we're the same. Does it mean we like each other? That's different. We have to appreciate our uniqueness, our diversity, our differences. That comes much harder. The rabbis say that was the problem with Rabbi Akiva's students. They loved each other, but they not necessarily liked each other. They couldn't understand how another student or one of their colleagues could understand Rabbi Akiva's words different than them. I love you, but how could you not understand what Rabbi Akiva said that I'm telling you? They might have loved each other, but not necessarily did they like each other. Not necessarily did they respect their diversity, their differences that God gave them. You know, we count Sfiras Omer in 3 months. We start in Nisan, we count in Iyar, and then we count in Sivan. Nisan represents the love for the Jewish people. We became a nation in Israel, a big community. It's about the love, it's family. What's Iyar? Iyar is the time when we count the Omer. It's the full month that we count to Omer. When we count to Omer, we count the uniqueness. The Omer represents the 7 emotions. Someone has a uniqueness in their love, and their kindness, and their strength, and their nature to victory, etc., etc. You know, it's interesting, when you count the Omer, we count the weeks and the days. And the question is, why do we count both? Why do we done this? You have to say it's 12 days to it's 16 days to the Omer, which is 2 weeks and 4 days. Either you count the weeks or the days. And the rabbis say the weeks represent the 7 emotion cycle, the 7 days. It represents the whole nation as a whole. And then the days is counting each Jew as an individual. So Nisan, we have the entire Jewish nation. Iyar, we have the uniqueness and individuality. And then we come to the month of Sivan, the month when we receive the Torah. It says when we receive the Torah, God gave the Torah to the Jewish people. It says it in the singular. The Jews were all united like one person. Yet at the same point, the Torah tells us that if one Jew was not at Mount Sinai, the Torah would have not been able to be given. So there you have, in the month of Nisan, the first month, we celebrate us as one big community, one big people, one big nation. Then the month of Iyar, we celebrate the individuality too. But what happens when you take 2 and you make it into one that encompasses both? You get the 3rd month, B'chodesh HaShlishi, and that's what we get in the month of Sivan. I think it's important when we think about what's going on now, the pandemic and the challenges we have, talk about the Mageva, that we think about ourselves. Do we only love our fellow Jew, or do we also like them? Do we respect the difference, the uniqueness? Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Shalom.